We welcome you to Red Deer and our continuing coverage of the 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. We apologize for the transmission difficulties. High winds here in the Red Deer area, and it was difficult for the satellite to find the satellite up there. We're buckled in. We've got our seatbelts on in here. But we're glad you're with us on this Wednesday afternoon. This is our featured game, Quebec, Alberta. We're in the first. Alberta playing the Yellowstones with the last rock. But the Quebec team of Marie-France Larouche from Quebec City has Alberta in some trouble.
Okay. It started early with a center guard, and we saw some come-around play at which Quebec was better. They got the one in a good spot, and Alberta could not sit on top of it, went too deep. Those are the Yellows now back 8. And then the guards kept going up, and Alberta's been bailing out.
Yep. A couple of nice come-arounds, a beautiful guard by Marie-France, and not much options here for Alberta. You might be able to run that yellow straight back, but it has to be perfect.
OK, on essaie d'être T-line. Oui. Puis si on voit qu'elle est trop forte, on peut l'amener free. C'est mieux que si je reste ouvert.
Both these teams coming in with 3 loss records. Quebec coming off a big win over Team Canada last evening. And Alberta has been the hot team on the rise. They have won their last 3.
She's talking about coming right in. I think you do get a little nervous when you see second and third shot belong to the team with hammer. She can freeze to those back Yellows.
Great line here.
No, off.
Nice shot.
Follow her down.
To sit 2 around the button without the last rock.
So for someone who has struggled with draw weight, she's found it.
Juste ça, ouais, mais
and we got an indication of that late in the game against Team Canada.
Although those were more hits, that is what Marie-France has been better out of late. These were great draws. And you've got a difference of opinion here, Russ.
Well, Heather just loves to hit. Now, it's not like she can't draw. As a matter of fact, she's made a couple of pistol draws to win games, but this is her favorite. And if this is made absolutely perfect, you can hit it in that area. You can actually run this one possibly through here and that one off that way. And maybe save your shooter for a potential 3, but it has to be spot on. The other option would just be the draw. And I say just, it's dead buried on the pin, but that might be the easier of the 2 shots. But this is for a bigger number. You can only, the draw will only give you 1. This could maybe give you 3.
And that is why Marie-France originally talked about coming to the back to the other stones, the Yellows, so that she wouldn't leave this potential shot. But we're going to have a little bit of a view of the first argument between Beth and Heather. Beth wanted to draw, Heather now playing the hit.
That's a good one, Hooch.
And yesterday in a, I don't want to call it a scolding, but at one point in time, Heather said, you've got to trust me. You've got to go with my decision. And her decision here is to play the run back double. Final stone. Quebec is sitting 2. Mayer. Peters have done nothing. Run it back. What she got? No, she'll run across the top, and it will be a steal of 1 for Quebec here in this opening end of play. Again, we apologize for our transmission difficulties. We're glad that you're with us now.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Sponge Towels, Paper Towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Here are all the games on the ice in this 13th draw. BC coming off a loss to Manitoba, playing Carrie Galusha. Quebec, Alberta is our feature on Sheet B. On Sheet C, Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador, 5 losses right now. Still have some hope. Team Canada has lost 2 in a row as they play PEI and Kim Dolan. So let's get you caught up now. First end action here on a Wednesday afternoon from the NMAX Centrium. And that's where we will go. We'll go to the defending champions. Team Canada, skipped by Amber Holland out of the Chrono Curling Club in Saskatchewan, playing Charlottetown's Kim Dolan, as I say, have lost their last two. And once again, Canada having to deal without Tammy Schneider, injured earlier in the week, has the flu now, which is going around. And so Jolene Campbell is in, and they hit for a 3 spot in the first against PEI. Ontario and Newfoundland, again, both at 5 losses. You have some hope, as we've seen lots of teams starting to fall back now. Heather Strong has the last rock. Heather and her team from the Ballyhaley Country Club in St. John's against the Ontario champions from the Idlewild Golf and Country Club in Sudbury. Ooh, just a little bit of a nudge sideways, and that will give Newfoundland Labrador their single point. And on sheet A, British Columbia, Northwest Territories, Yukon. Kerry Galusha is back after missing some 3-4 games because of the flu. And she picks up a 2 against the former Canadian world champion Kelly Scott out of Kelowna. Our featured game, Quebec, steals one against Alberta. So once again, Alberta and the team from the Saville Sports Centre in Edmonton will have the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
In the first in, Quebec brought the first stone in. This time they put up the guard, and then the nice come around by Lainey Peters of Alberta. Come around again by Quebec, and you just saw that yellow one come up short. So 4 rocks all clustered in that center line area.
A little short for Lainey, but very usable.
On accepte! Yes! Faut la cacher! Yes! OK. Good shot. Good shot.
When we started the event, we talked about Heather Nedohin, and the team was not playing as well. Heather does love rocks in play, and sometimes was getting a little complicated when the team didn't have their A game with them. At that point, we were saying pull it back, but I'm not sure Heather really knows how to pull it back. And fortunately, the team is now really on a roll as far as shooting goes.
It's so similar to the husband, David Nedohin and Randy Furby all those years. They were pure offense. When they were playing well, they were unbeatable. If they weren't, you had a chance. And it's the exact same things happened this week.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the game plan these two teams may have. It's brought to you by World Financial Group. Your dreams are strategy.
Based on play to date, I was suggesting that Quebec keep it simple until Marie-France Larouche feels confident with her key shot, which is the hits and rolls. For Alberta, pour it on. Apply the pressure. You've got the best front end here. The only little thing we've seen is that Beth Iskew and Heather Nedohin sometimes don't agree on strategy, and the problem with that is they don't trust in the hack and sometimes make mistakes.
So Quebec, with their last stone, come to the back of the 4, and right away, Alberta and Jessica Mayer down on top. This is Amélie Blais for Quebec.
And a great camera angle to watch that curl from the hog line in and brushed it all the way down just to slide it by. Beautiful shot.
Actually, in the game against Team Canada, Amélie made, I think, 2 perfect draws to the button that send up scores for Quebec. She really has draw weight. And here's that example of the curl, Russ.
That just put the blinker on at the hog line, and they just saved it.
The beautiful angle on the yellow ones.
Time to bail again. 2 ends in a row. The front end for Quebec putting a lot of pressure on this good Alberta team.
With Jessica Mayer.
Easy, easy. Nicely done.
It does raise the question, Linda, and I saw in your game plan for Quebec, simplify. That's when they have the last rock, of course. But it's interesting because Alberta plays with lots of stone, and at this particular moment, Quebec is enjoying it, relishing it. They're playing with them. They're making great shots. So why don't they take that kind of strategy into when they have last rock?
Well, no, if you're going to do it, Vic, you do it with and without last rock. Simplifies more often without the hammer. The interesting thing is that somehow Quebec has found a miracle of from the very first rock they have found draw weight, and they have not up to this point. Thus the suggestion that they not put the guards up and get it too complicated. But at this stage, they're doing a great job.
You really have 2 choices. If we play matchmaker here and say that Quebec's the weaker of the two teams, and we're not so sure. They have the same record, so that's a bit of an assumption. But Quebec did struggle last night. You have two choices if you're playing a superior team: is you either kind of run and hide and try to run the ends out, and it's an 8-end game, it's a 6-end game, it's a 4-end game, and you have a better chance, or you have to really put the offense on and hope to create some mistakes.
Play, Peel. You get the front. Great.
I wonder if
You get this. Good.
I wonder if
Should we
Heather
play normal
Nedohin
then?
is a little surprised at Quebec's response here.
Okay.
She's probably not very happy.
prefer
Suddenly
Peel.
this team is making some great shots, great come-around draws. Quebec quite good on their hits to date, but not the draws.
Let's go, Beth. Straight up here. Okay.
Can't see much of this red one, but they've elected to throw a lot of weight, which makes it tougher. But if Beth can slide by that guard, you can release both red rocks here. The shooter will roll out for sure, but you could sit two buried.
Whoa.
Missed it the right way.
Good shot.
You hit that red one hard enough, it's gone, and the back yellow punches out the other red. So it's Marie-France has to keep guarding this situation.
Yellow is sitting shot stone. You can see just by that little band of blue. Want to quickly go over live look. Team Canada, PEI. We showed you Team Canada. Amber Holland getting her 3 in the first, and 1, 2, 3. Maybe even a little lighter over there for possible 4. That's what Kim Dolan is facing with her last out of the Charlottetown Curling Club.
Oh, here's T-line. T-line. Just T-line. All yours.
Her daughter, Sinead Dolan, is on the left. Michaela Robinson is in and playing in place of Nancy Cameron. One red it is, so it's a steal of 1 for Team Canada.
Well, you can't see much of this one, Linda.
Little lad. I'm wider.
You don't want to miss wide.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. Whoa.
Beth Iskew picking it off the top.
Go.
What a great curling shot.
Now, how much of a benefit was that red stone at the back of that yellow stone?
Yeah, it was the sandwich, Vic, and the filling stays, the bread goes, as I always say. So you're going to lose the reds. Thus, the risk that Marie-France took on by putting so many rocks in play and relying on that one red one frozen to stay. It was not going to stay if you got the corner of it.
Let's go.
This is where the percentages fool you a little bit. Beth threw a beauty on her first one because she was smart enough to reckon the guard. She misses wide. That whole situation changes. 50%, but makes the right one. Beautiful, beautiful shot.
Juste aller un peu. On est 5.
Certainly not playing right now like she's 11th among the skips.
On first end, she made beauties. This is a very difficult shot, though. You can't bounce. You have to be in front of it.
And this is the first for Quebec and Marie-France Larouche. And taps it back to leave Quebec sitting 1 as we play here in the second.
Merci. J'étais à combien, là?
96.
OK.
Good.
The perfect shot would be to try to get to the inside here, but that's delicate. It's partially buried around that red guard.
His back line. Yep.
We're over to sheet A. After the Northwest Territories Yukon, Carrie Galusha of Yellowknife scored 2 in the first. This is BC and Kelly Scott out of Kelowna. And I think this is a draw against a couple.
I think it's a draw 4-2, Vic.
I don't see one behind there. Then,
There's
Linda, you see one there?
one in the full 8 that I think is
Okay.
shot rock, but this is short.
All right, thank you very much.
Looking at second shot now.
Yep, there it is. There's the one top and around the edge.
And it is 1.
What it is, as Daleen Sievertson had a look She holds the brush for Kelly Scott. 2-1. Larouche from Yellowknife leads there. Heather Nedohin in the first for her here in the second.
That broke very early. They almost got it by.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So soft. No worries. 87.
Yeah, 13-9. Shoot. Like we just rubbed off and rolled to there. So
It was really close to perfect. Just any more weight at all, it gets by.
Un petit weight, là, par exemple. Pas trop.
Parce qu'on peut remettre le garde aussi, mais moi...
Mais j'aime comme un genre de... Un petit weight, là. Puis flopper là, pousser elle par là. Je pense pas que tu lui donnes le double.
A very nervous time when the team with hammer is sitting second, third, and fourth shot. Quebec took some chances in the first end and managed to steal, but that's a very lonely red. What you don't want to do is actually set up a rock that makes this more possible than it currently is as far as removing the red.
C'est sûr qu'il faut flopper un petit peu.
C'est sûr qu'on accrochait.
To your point, Linda, if this rock comes down and stops here, that's really bad news, and maybe even there is not that great because you could possibly slide by the guard and release both reds out that way. And the only other thing is if you throw a guard, you might see Heather play this way.
Tant qu'à ça. Ah, ouais.
Pour moi, on aurait une shot qui resterait dans la maison.
Mais parce qu'elle est là, c'est où tu mets le balai où?
Tu mettrais le garde où si tu mets un garde?
Tu mets le garde là.
What about that? What seems to be their idea, Russ, of coming off that stone, Yellowstone 8-foot tee line and sliding in behind the red. Is that possible?
Yeah, I like that. I like that call because, as Linda said, there's a lot of yellow in there to start with, so removing that one is a good idea. And if it slides underneath the red shot rock, you'll make the double and sit two buried. If it ticks the red, it'll run the red right in behind the guards, I believe. It'll just tap it a little bit. So I think that's the safest shot. Guard's a little scary, obviously.
How we would go, Mom.
Just made it,
here's
though.
What she said.
Le garde.
On joue le garde?
Oui.
OK, ouais. C'est ça.
Is that what they've decided on here, Linda? You think?
Yeah, I'm hearing guard. I thought for a moment with that ice they could even be drawing to that yellow one side of the 8. And I heard the word guard. They're still standing there talking, though, Vic. Definitely not set on this decision.
Allons avec le garde, puis garde, ça fait une...
A little bit more curl outside in than there has at the start of the week.
Si on est capable de la garder au départ, on la garde.
Parfait.
So this a little light, it could really break across, and there'll be a hit to get that red one out of there.
As we often say, you can leave a little hole, but you don't want to over-curl, and so often we see the over-curl.
Bien, regardez-la.
Oh,
OK, wow!
Oh, faut que ça arrête! Faut que ça arrête!
Rarely take enough ice in these shots.
They can even take the other turn, and more often that works better.
Whoa!
Like to chop off that red.
OK.
So where are we hitting?
Je pense que c'est correct. Je voulais pas laisser un bout de la...
So is there enough room there to get to the shot stone?
Heather says there is, but she hasn't walked down and looked at it yet.
We don't want to go too far under.
We're talking about playing it off their own.
Yours, Fran. Half or a third of a rock.
Yours?
Well, if we can get
What did you do here? Get round really straight.
We're not doing quite much.
No, but remember I was just giving you here. Well, I'll take our hair more.
Well, yeah, we got to hit it thin, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, just normal peel.
A good 3/4 of this one. Now, the problem with that, you need a lot of speed. Once you hit it that thick, you're not going to get a lot of roll. But with a lot of speed, peel weight, hit about 2/3 to 3/4 of this, it will bounce that red one. How far they can bounce it depends on the speed. That's to hit 3/4. If you draw a straight line, that red rock's almost in the way. So this has to just graze the guard with a lot of power.
I was a little confused with how much they thought they needed to hit, but maybe I heard incorrectly. I thought they were talking thinner, and I'm not sure how you would ever do it with a thinner hit.
Yeah, I think less than half you miss completely, don't you? Half might work.
Quebec is sitting one. They stole one in the first.
Right off.
Final stone.
No.
Heather Nedohin,
No.
Jessica Mayer, Lainey Peters. Got anything, ladies? Got anything? And they will not. Steal one more. Quebec here in 2. Marie-France Larouche is taking everything Nedohin throws at her.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
It seems we're watching a brand new Quebec team here today.
Vic, I'm taking my stats report that says Marie-France Larouche's draw percentage is 66, and I'm whipping it up. Because look at this lovely little draw tap, getting her team out of trouble, putting a rock in a very difficult place for Heather Nedohin to deal with, and it's another steal.
The key shot is brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissue. Stylish designs for any room. As we welcome you back to the beautiful NMAX Centrium here in Red Deer. On this Wednesday afternoon, it's draw 13. Quebec steal one more. They're up 2-0 as we play it here in the third. And once again, Alberta with the last rock. They'll have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
15-5.
That was 15-6, yeah.
Okay. 14-8?
Yep.
Yeah. Line is good. 4-5.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Whoa. 6. Whoa. Right to the side. Yes? Yep, you can go to it. Right to it.
Go. Sorry, I good. 14-8. I just said right to it.
Just say right to the side.
I know.
Well, if this turnaround seems dramatic, it may have come late last night against Team Canada. Look at what they've done in the last 4 ends of play. They stole 1 point to force the extra against Team Canada, and then they stole 3 points for the win against the defending champions. And then today, Linda, they've opened up with a steal of 1 and 1 more.
They've had a little more trouble with defense, but their offense has been quite good, Vic.
Yep.
They just don't want hammer.
Yeah, that's right.
Throw your pre-draw to the button right through the rings. Take your chances.
Manitoba won earlier today, so Jennifer Jones sits atop the table at 2 losses. Look at the bunch at 3. And then Saskatchewan losing earlier today. Michelle Englard from Regina's at 4. If you're at 5 losses, because we're watching teams drop back, notably BC, Team Canada. 5, you want to stay there. If you could get out the rest of the way with 5, you may have a chance, but certainly 6 would be too many. And the surprise in all of it, of course, has to be the team from New Brunswick.
Trying to come through a port to get at shot rock.
Stay with the shooters.
Nice bait, Jess. Okay. Nice bait.
Paye pas ça.
Ou garde ici.
Once again, let's go over and check in on Team Canada PEI. Team Canada scored 3 in the first. Prince Edward Island, they gave up another steal of a single. So here we are in the third, 4-0 Team Canada, and 1, 2, and 3. So more pressure on Prince Edward Island and their skip, 53-year-old Kim Dolan.
I think Team Canada's shock of losing last night to Quebec, the way they lost it in the extra end cost them this morning. They were very slow starting against Nova Scotia and lost in an extra, but it looks like they've got it back, putting all kinds of pressure on Kim Dolan.
And Sinead Dolan and Michaela Robinson. Straight draw. And we'll bump up. That's a 1 for sure. Team Canada now having a look. And 2. 2 red was the indication from Kim Schneider, going from bad to worse for PEI. This is Jessica Mayer throwing the second stones for the Alberta champions from the Saville Sports Centre in Edmonton.
3 ends, 3 bailouts.
Roll it. Roll it. Roll it. Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
One of the hardest shots in any event of late, with lots of curl on the ice as a guard, and Quebec is doing quite a nice job of putting those guards in place.
So Alberta's forced to bail here. Is it Quebec shot making that's forcing them to bail, or is Alberta with their aggressiveness not putting things in the right position?
A bit of both, Vic. I think the Quebec front end's really playing well. Not that the Alberta one isn't, but just playing aggressive ends, trying to get deuces and threes and leaving rocks around, and it's maybe it has to be a little bit simpler with hammers.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
You start off with one on the forefoot like that, and you throw a freeze that didn't quite freeze, and then Quebec's made everything since then, and so you have to give them a lot of credit.
Yep.
Try to run this back. If you could ever get the top red in the rings thin enough, the yellow might drag onto the shot rock. Love to get 2 reds out of the way here, though.
Oh, whoa! Whoa, stop that. Whoa. Yep, yep, yep. Watch the yellows.
Trying to peel it off now without running anything in, which they do. Changes the situation for Quebec, though. Beth has moved those rocks around.
You almost have to hit the yellow one now.
See the reds in the house, 8-foot, 4-footer in double territory. There'd be the red-yellow combination as well, so not much you can do about this.
Let's go.
If you could hit this a little on the broom side and kick that left-hand red one behind the corner guard would be nice too.
Shot.
Well, we mentioned the flu has been going around throughout the event. Players, some of the officials have been put to bed. And one of those people who has missed several games is the skip of the Northwest Territories Yukon, and Carrie Galusha. But she is back now and leading 2-1. But here, as she throws her last, this is she's facing 3 here, it looks like, Linda.
And she's playing a hit, actually. I wasn't sure with the broom going down. I thought she might be trying to draw through the hole, but she needs a little roll, it looks like.
Sharon Cormier, who took over the skipping duties while she was away, having a look. 1 red, so it is BC steal, and they're even at 2.
I thought Heather would play this double the other way, Linda. I think there's a triple. You hit it on the high side, you'd get that buried rock, which is the most important one. And they're trying to go across the face, I believe.
Whoa. Hard roll, Jess.
Hard roll, Jess. Hard roll. That's good. That's good. Great shot.
That's a great shot, Jess.
Okay.
That worked out really well because they've lined them up pretty close here. There's a good chance that will go that way onto the red. And there's also a later, if they want, there's a double in here kicking out both reds. So Quebec really has to hit that rock. They can't really guard the shot rocks.
Well, Linda has brought up the lack of consistency through the first 6 games, and then they've put together for the first time in this event back-to-back wins, Team Quebec.
Ouais, le split là, moi je roule là.
Hein?
Je pense que oui, je pense que c'est peut-être mieux de faire ça.
OK. Elle n'est pas facile, on n'en va pas un gros morceau.
On va faire comme ça pareil?
Sauf qu'on va rouler trop aussi.
Tricky little hit.
Est-ce que c'est possible sur
I
l'intern?
think they're thinking about splitting their rock now.
Ouais.
The red shot rock, yes.
They are sitting 2.
Puis elle, on va l'avoir cachée là. Fait que, tu sais, faut pas que je roule trop loin non plus pour pas qu'elle aille ça, peut-être, là. OK, oui, je préfère ça.
Parfait.
Comme ça. Qu'est-ce que t'en dis?
Tu joues back 8, juste
Oui, juste back 8.
Parfait.
So you threw away that paper, but not before you did this.
Well, we did have a look at Marie-France's numbers coming into this game. This is game by game, the opponent along the bottom and her percentage along the top of each bar. And look at it bounce around. A nice start, actually, and then dropping to 65, bouncing up to 74, down to 53, up to 83, and then against Team Canada, 58%, but squeaking out a win in the extra end.
Yeah, well, as we said, she's won. Quebec has won their last 2. She curls 83. You think you're going to win that, but it's those final 2 ends in last night's game against Team Canada, stealing the force and then stealing the win with 3 in the extra, and looking very good through the first 2 here.
This is a tough little split, though. You're crossing the rock with the curl.
There's a little rub, and there's the split to sit 2, and behind now, Russ. Those staggered stones, center line, top of the 12.
And the key word staggered. There's nothing, if Heather doesn't make this double, she cannot get at that shot rock.
This is the hard part, though. You'd actually love to push that one that you're about to touch back and sit in front of it, not behind it. And maybe even get some more cover for that one on the left so this double isn't there. It's just so hard because it's crossing so much.
Now for Alberta, they started very slowly, but look what they've done. They've won 4 of their last 5, including the 3 in a row.
And that loss, Heather Nedohin had a bad game, 66%, but in the 3 wins after that, in the 80s, playing very well.
Not taking a lot of ice here. It's not curling quite as much as it did at the start of the week in this particular spot, but this nearly has to be peel, I would believe, to make this.
Normal. Close. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Marin Peters on the brush. Now trying to roll it over and inside, and it'll just sit right there, top edge of the 4. Shot stone covered, edge of the button tee line. That belongs to Quebec, looking for a 3rd straight steal.
Well, the brushers tried, but you're right. That was not enough ice. That is an ice reading error in the shot, not a brushing, not a line call.
I would have had a hernia making that shot with that much, that little ice. You'd have to throw that really hard. Just put the broom in the wrong spot, I believe.
Oui, like.
Bumper.
Great opportunity now, as Vic mentioned, with the staggered guards.
Parfait. Go.
Even hitting it dead on is not terrible because the double would be so thin.
Just like le nez.
And it is a hit to sit 3, don't forget. Red one on the edge of the 8. Looks like it's out counting the yellow top 8.
Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Now, Marie-France does throw a very different out turn. She puts a little out on release.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It was a nice throw.
Boy, I don't know. It might. It
Might
is a
have
great throw.
actually, you're right, it might have actually ended up in the wrong spot.
Might have, Linda. I don't know whether can they get it thin enough and get the piece of that buried one.
think they were fooled a little bit because she does float it, and that's why it ran so straight.
Heather has no choice but to play this double. That's number one. If she can make that shot, that's great. But the key is, where is this shooter going to go when that yellow one comes down? If you can hit it thick enough and make the double, you might have a catcher here and actually score 2 points.
It was interesting because Marie-France was actually trying to roll. I thought she was trying to make sure that she didn't set up the shot, but in the attempt to roll and not going far enough, she might have left it.
The key, though, is making that first double. Like, if you roll away, you score a single, or even a ticket would be fine. But
Okay, let's go, Heather.
this is kind of an all or nothing shot. You could probably come around with the out turn and tap it back also, but equally difficult. But this is for a bigger reward.
So final stone here in 3 after Quebec stole singles in 1 and 2. And now sitting a couple. Nothing at all from Peters or Mayer. It's got to come across the nose and angle it back. No, she'll just bang it right on the beat. And it's a steal of 1 more for Quebec here in the 3rd. Want to win a 2-year lease on a 2012 Ford Focus S? You can log on to fordhotshots.curling.ca and test your online curling skills. And for every participant at this year's Scotties, they also had a chance to win a lease on this 2012 Ford Focus Titanium by testing their on-ice curling skills. The final, a battle of skips. Newfoundland's Heather Strong against Northwest Territories Yukon's Carrie Galusha. And thanks to shots like this, the hit and stick right to the button, Galusha is your winner, winning a 2-year lease on a 2012 Ford Focus Titanium. Don't forget to log on to fordhotshots.curling.ca for your chance to win. And just like Carrie Galusha, you too could drive away in a brand new Ford. We have lots of cameras covering all 4 sheets for you throughout our coverage of the Scotties here in Red Deer. And what we've been seeing is a very impressive performance by Quebec. 3 straight ends, then they've stolen singles in every one. The lead 3-0 over Alberta, who have had the last rock every end and failed to do anything with it. Once again here in the 4th, Alberta does have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Yep.
So now you're into a situation where you have to skip this a little more carefully. In my opinion, Heather Nedohin has thrown the last rock in 2 and 3 on an overthrow. She's tried to throw it so hard to make a very difficult shot. She hasn't had control of the line, and thus it didn't work out. So somehow you have to get back to setting up so the skill set of Heather matches her last rock ability. You have to give yourself a chance to make it.
So that means what? Simplify?
Simplify with Beth. Make sure you've got something set up. You're not going to have to make a very thin double, an angle raise, or something too tough.
Nicely
Good
done,
shot.
Lainey.
What'd you say that was?
13-9.
13-1? 13-1.
For Quebec, they can simplify it here now. 3 points up. There's no reason to take any risk.
Amelie Blais.
Just peeling the guard.
Yes, yes! Yes.
Oh, c'est bon, je l'ai. Merci, thank you.
Wow. It's 13-9. Sorry. You like this? Yeah.
Okay, 6-5.
Okay, what do we need? 14 and a half? Yeah.
Kim Dolan, at the age of 53 and making her 9th appearance at the Scotties, has said that this is, for all intents and purposes, her last event for her and for Nancy Cameron, the veteran lead, sitting on the bench today. Hasn't been a good start so far, down 6-0. And here in 4, will get her first points. 2 on the board for Prince Edward Island.
Go, Lainey, go, Lainey, go, Lainey. Great call, Heather. That was just a note. Do you think?
Wanted that top 8-foot, top 4 at the most. Once it was deep, Heather went to the audible, tried to tick and roll buried, but unfortunately hit it a little thin. So there is a double on here.
I think they're playing the hit and roll in front of the one at the back of the 4. I think that was the call anyway.
Yep.
As we pick up Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador, this final stone was a throw through. It remains 3-1 Ontario ahead of Newfoundland, Labrador. Tracy Horgan of Sudbury, Heather Strong from St. John's.
A little over curl on that.
Yeah, and a little bit of light for Alberta. If you can come around here, even if you don't bury this one, leave it half open top of the 8-foot, it can be redirected onto that red Quebec rock at the back of the 8-foot. Don't have to
94.
be fancy here. Just hide an inch.
No, it's not.
We can go.
Whoa, 6. Room.
Is it 6 or 5?
No, it's deeper.
6. Do you
Whoa.
think?
6,
6, 7.
No.
7.
She's got 2 different rocks.
Totally.
Oh, totally 2 different rocks.
All right. They've picked up on something that, in fact,
That's
Jessica
14.
Mayer may have
They're
unmatched
just running
stone.
different, eh?
Yeah, they're saying that one slides a little bit farther, and it fooled the brushers also. And we talked about the brushers yesterday, how good they are. So they have to relay that down now, and couldn't pick it up in practice, but they now have it figured out. But that rock's just gliding a little farther, a little bit smoother. If people think all curling rocks are the same, I hope I'm playing against them.
Well, sort of a interesting thing is to go to the plant where they make them in Scotland, because these giant hunks of granite come out and they make them one rock at a time. We used to talk about matched rocks, thinking pairs were made together. They just chisel that chunk of granite and start to form it, and the surfaces are all different.
Needs to go for speed.
They're going to leave it short. Alberta has something going here in the 4th, sitting 2.
But honestly,
Back button, back 4.
6, 5.
There's a situation there where a stopwatch can really fool a team. You might have split the opposition's rock, the Alberta rock, and maybe had a split of 395. So you feel you can throw 395, but you don't have the same speed of rock as Alberta does. So those probably could have been clocked at the exact same speed, and there's a little bit difference in speed. And after all, you're throwing it a long distance. There's no chance of it being identical.
103.
So finally it seems a chance for Beth to apply the pressure. She's been on the bailout team for the first few ends. So this is an important one. You saw those yellows dead buried, but they're in the middle, and there'll be a chance for Quebec if this is not made.
Kick off of there. Go! Go, Jess! Kick! Move it! Move it! Gotta get over there. Ah, shoot. 15-2.
Okay.
Not all bad.
Okay.
Ici?
Okay.
Parce que je vois pas d'autre chose, là. On aurait peut-être dû faire le double peel tantôt, mais là, c'est plus le temps. On n'a pas le choix, là.
Si on fait le nez de la jaune, la rouge, elle s'en va-tu dans le rond?
Elle va s'en venir par là.
OK. Bon.
Talking about running the yellow into the reds, but Marie-France is looking at angles herself. Now, they would probably love to still play the come around they did, but the last stone that came up short is blocking their way.
Ouais, peut-être qu'elle irait.
Je sais pas, là. Vous aimez mieux tes cartes là-dessus?
Je voulais juste savoir si c'était là.
Ben, c'est là pourquoi?
Faut pousser la rouge dans le tas. La deuxième rouge.
Bon, on peut l'essayer.
Non, non, mais je veux pas essayer, là, l'instant, là. On va aller voir.
I think this is a good idea for Brenda to come down, because they're both calling back angles and which stone they want to
Je veux pas
hit.
essayer, je veux savoir.
I don't think they're both talking about the same thing.
There's a great angle, the red. That's the key. That's what I was trying to decide is where is that red one going to go?
Ça semble être mais je pense que c'est contourner le...
OK. On la connaît, là, de toute façon. On a joué beaucoup.
If you come down and hit this yellow, the yellow can jam. The red goes this way and up. But this second one, if you hit it thin enough, it might come this way. But on that camera angle, it looks like it's more this way. That makes all the difference in the world.
That would be another one where you might consider doing something with weight earlier in the end, hoping to leave something in a place and get out of trouble. But we're getting to a point now where it's kind of late if you're not positive where that one's going to go.
This is just a massive shot, even though it's this early in the end. You sink this one, it might be 4-0. If you don't make it, you could be losing in this game.
Brenda Nichols, Emily Blais, and Marie Filto have been called right off.
OK. J'aurais été comme trop loin?
Ouais, on fait 9. C'est pas juste.
Bien calé.
Just flop off that one, roll buried, 3 buried with hammer.
Vraiment pas la même vitesse des deux bords pour moi là, en ce moment. Là. Ça a pas. C'est
Ben,
pas
sûrement
tout
pas
pareil.
pour Anne-Marie non plus, parce que quand elle a joué son premier drap ici, là, tu sais,
Crisp release.
Another one of those where we talk about guards over curling so much. That kind of shot is almost your setup with thirds last. The only thing you can't do is over curl and grab. A little light, a little hanging out, so it's only partially buried. Those ones you can use.
Beth Iskew, this time it's a big brush for Mayer and Peters. Flip it inside. Oh, she'll make the double at the back, spill them both, but her shooter will sit right there. BC Northwest Territories Yukon in a 2-2 tie after the team from Yellowknife scored 2. Singles and a steal of 1 in the third and final stone. Carrie Galusha. If she hits this the right way, can she split out those 2 reds?
Yes, I think so, with enough speed.
Oh, there they go. Oh, and throw far enough. Sure enough for 3.
Great throw.
You have to feel sorry for those 2 teams. Carrie got off to such a tremendous start in this event and then caught the flu and has been out for 3 days. BC juggling the lineup. It's like you want to put the curtain down between A and B and just leave those poor people over on A. They've had such a tough time. Really tight ice on this.
Marie-France Larouche and her first. Oh, couldn't hold it, and the shooter will spill to the back 12.
We talk about Marie-France's releases because they are dramatically different. I mentioned the outturn in the third end. She floats that, especially when you're talking about nets to center line. Her in-turn, she starts it straight, and it's a totally different release, and I think she sometimes under-ices herself, thinking she's going to poke it out there a little wide, but quite often it's not wide. It's straight through to the broom, and that wasn't enough ice.
Yeah, you have to know your own release. I remember curling with Wayne Bedard. He was trying a tough shot, and he split the broom perfectly, and we missed it. And he came down and apologized. He said, "Sorry, skipper, I hit the broom."
Not his normal release.
Yeah, we all have tendencies. Like nobody throws it perfect, and it's a repetition. You have to be able to throw that same little in, out, or out, in, whichever way it is. Great opportunity here. You have to keep this high at all costs. Keep it in front half of that 4-foot.
Quebec's had 2 chances to get something set up and blocked the way, if nothing else, but they haven't been able to do it.
Yes! Go! 3!
Big curl here today on this outside in stuff.
Whoa, whoa.
And calling out 3, which would be just in front of the house.
Bounce off!
Yeah, they would love that one to be available.
I'm just throwing them a little lighter, or what's going on?
I had a 113.
Shit balls. Jesus, sorry. 100, right?
Those are tough as a skip because you're protecting. Like if you ever put that to the back of the button, it's 4-0. At least this way they have a chance. But she'd love to have thrown another pound in that one.
Définitif, c'est plus facile là, mais ça fait une shot plus facile après.
Talking the merits of both turns. In the second Marie-France made this draw. We called it a key shot. where she drew into the button area using this in turn. A lot more room to get to the button this way.
But you have to go a lot wider, and we've seen a lot of overcurls, and we talked to David Merklinger about the ice, and he's done a wonderful job of leveling it out here, and we're getting more curl on these outside in shots, and I'm not sure this is enough. Popped it out there pretty good. That's good.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Final stone for Quebec and Marie-France Larouche, with Fiddleto and Blais trying to wrap this around if they can.
Great throw.
A little bit more. Just feathered the guard. A little bit more. Going to grab the button. No. Have a look. Wow, what a draw.
Little inside out pop at the end, kept it out in the hill a little bit, and then just swept it as hard as they could to get it by. That's a great shot.
And as we look from overhead, it's very, very close. It looks like it just may be yellow. Has more of that little blue band around the hearts.
Linda mentioned it as this yellow rock of Heather Nedohin's came up short, that they better bounce it off. They almost gave up on it. If that rock had stopped here, this shot is not available, but it looks like it bounced just enough to make that straight run back for a possible 3.
My goodness. So there's two sides of the bed. There must be a hit side and a draw side, and she got up on the draw side today. Very France. I mean,
she's found the weight.
Unbelievable.
Might even be able to miss this a little high side and get a carom, a smudge off your own yellow and redirect it.
Has one. Just one at the moment. Nedohin trying to run it back. Did they hold it for her? Did she get this? Yes, she did. Just enough for 2. Alberta here in the 4th. Gave it a rub on the way by, but spun it far enough. Heather Nedohin. Yay. Finally. Sunday is the big night, and Billy Crystal returns to host the 84th Academy Awards. The ceremony begins at 8 Eastern Time on CTV. Sometimes a horse doesn't take cue very well. He was supposed to be moving before I started reading, and then I guess he heard me. That's Heritage Ranch. It's a beautiful spot here in Red Deer if you're visiting. Throughout the year, weather has been wonderful. Alberta gets 2. And so for the first time, if you can believe it, here in the 5th, Quebec will have the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Redstone.
Nicely done. Yes.
Ontario appears to be sitting 1 for sure, close for second shot at the back of the 4. Leading 3-1 after the blank in 4. This is the final stone for Heather Strong and her team out of the Ballyhaley Country Club in St. John's. And this one has to come back. And now that little bump is certain to be 2.
Watch out. Oh, okay. I thought I didn't measure it.
Ontario will steal 2 to lead 5-1 going to the break.
I like that.
Both those teams, Linda Russ coming in at 5 losses.
Even back line.
And as teams back up right now, 5,
okay, so back line.
you'll have to stay there.
13.
Simple as that.
Yes. 75, 80? Yeah.
So the center guard and then 3 come-arounds. We're continuing that play down the middle as we saw in the last end. This is trying to move that red one that is top 4.
Beautiful speed here that should warp in at the end.
Wait, you gotta go.
Nice shot.
Wow, very nice. Got across the nose. Actually pops inside to cover the shot stone.
On va essayer ça en premier.
C'est bon. Let's go. Let's go.
You see enough to get both yellows moving. The shot rock might jam on the back of the 4-foot red one.
Family play. Get it by their own guard first. Yes. Get the 2. Oh, and the jam at the back. They'll get rid of 1. Quebec is sitting 1. Back 4. They do have last draw.
I am impressed with Amelie because I talked about some key freezes she made, nice draws, but her hitting game is also excellent. This is a new front end for Marie-France, of course.
Control? No. Whoa.
Set it up.
10? No.
Whoa.
Whoa. No.
Roll away, Heather.
Yep. Yep. Your nose. Yep. 9-6. Okay. Do we not have hits?
What's that?
Do we not have hits, Smith?
Yeah, I think so.
Upper.
Team Canada, Prince Edward Island, the defending champions. Amber Holland, they got 3. They stole 1, stole 2 before PEI replied, and now the defending champs from the Chrono Curling Club in Saskatchewan have a chance to add a pile more.
Nice lead, Amber.
The draw for 3, and Team Canada looking to bounce back. They have lost 2 straight coming in and taking it out on Prince Edward Island.
10. 9-5. 9-5.
Nice soft release there. No real pop, but I really like the way Beth lets them go. And just there's enough rotation, not a ton, but there's enough. Kind of a controlled release.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those games where her numbers are, at this point, not up to her standard. But don't forget, first 3 in, she was just bailing them out.
She's throwing some tough ones. Square shoulders, slightly bent arm, wrist high. Just lets it go from the cocked position to the 12 o'clock position, and that just gives you an automatic release, the same amount of spin every time. I love it.
Yes, Eddie. Whoa, whoa.
You know, we talk often about where you play in this country and the ice conditions. I'm just wondering, I may be fishing here, but interestingly enough about down east for Nova Scotia, that's where she learned her game. And I'm just wondering if her release is a result of playing down east. Are there certain releases for certain parts of the country?
Most definitely. There really is. As strange as that sounds like, that's a great question. If you grew up on straight ice, and she certainly did, and it's still pretty straight down there, you cannot pop it like you see some of the top players playing now, pop it outward. If you've got lots of curl like Mary France, her out turn, she kind of pops it back a little bit and allows it to run straighter. That's wonderful, this type of surface. Down east, certainly when Beth was there, you could not do that. If anything, you were rewarded by being inside at what we call a softer release.
Hold the line, hold the line. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. This way.
When we're back with you at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to take a look at the surprise team really in the field right now. That is New Brunswick. Rebecca Atkinson at 5-3 out of the gauge in Oromocto as they play Newfoundland and Labrador. Currently on the ice and trailing, and Newfoundland Labrador looking to stay at 5 losses. And Brian Mudryk, there's some news on the team from New Brunswick.
Yeah, Vic, kind of some bad news as well for Team New Brunswick. Their lead, Jody DeSola, before coming into this tournament, was coughing a little bit and was struggling. She didn't play this morning in the draw. Actually has some torn muscles in between her ribs. That's very painful. Went to emergency to have it checked out. Sounds like she's fine, but not sure when she'll be back to play. But obviously we wish Jody the best of luck in getting back. In the meantime, fifth, Jeanette Murphy has been playing for Team New Brunswick.
Well, that's
4 or 5.
curlers have been filling the emergency room at this year's event with the flu going around. Sasha Carter, who throws second for Team BC, not playing again today, and she had to go and get fluids, intravenous fluids.
The good news for New Brunswick is Jeanette's played with Becky Atkinson for years, so Becky holding the broom for the New Brunswick team will certainly have a good clue of where to put it.
It's very difficult, though, to play without your regular players.
Nice, Heather.
I hope all of them are feeling better. This is one of those interesting ends where the guard goes up and all the play to the middle, and Quebec waited a while, kept trying to maneuver some rocks around so that they could eventually get back to the button. They've just not been able to do it, and a nice job by Heather Nedohin keeping the center area cluttered.
Just a shade off center. Might be able to clip that yellow of the Alberta team off the button. The red is going to jam a little bit, but will it go through that hole? That's the trick. There's more of a pop release, as I call it. It runs a little truer sooner.
Oh, very nice.
Great shot.
Gracious.
Very, very nice, as you say.
Just the accuracy of the hits, and then on top of that, she's found the draw weight. So that up and down week that Marie Francis had, well, in the moment, it's on the way up again.
They're making a ton of shots. They really are.
Shorts, okay, like top button?
Yeah. Okay, 9,500, Heather.
The first thing that Heather Nedohin said was to it, as if to want to play down to the one at the back of the four, and then she said short's fine. I mean, so where do you want to go?
Well, she's saying the freeze takes away a possible deuce. But if you have the line right, Vic, top of the button would be unbelievably good, because it cannot be removed if you get the right angle, and it's awfully hard for Quebec to score. So the tolerance would be a foot or two short of the freeze.
If you can wait at all, it'd be great. Right to the back, though. Right to the back. Whoa, whoa!
You could stop that rock right there, and it's tough to get out of there.
And she'll cover the pin. The waiting was for the break. They needed to get the curl.
Yeah, as long as you had an inch or two underneath that red guard, there's no chance for Quebec to hit and alleviate the jam.
Oh, okay.
They actually could have left that a shade higher.
I want to work you overtime.
To get shot rock, you have to play the tap, and when it's higher in the forefoot, that means further to tap it, and you're also tapping it towards some backing. Makes it harder and harder.
Nice shots being made here. Now, this is a bit of an opposite release to Beth Iskew's release. She's, as I said, a little softer release, used to the straighter ice. And we'll see what Marie France does. Sometimes she throws a little bit more rotation than you'd see Beth throw, and in this case, you don't really need it. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not as big a rotation as usual.
She does tend to slide a little left on those, the ones that are edge of the 8, edge of the 4 even. She slides center and puts it back. It takes a lot longer to come in.
That's exactly what's happening. The speed's really good here, but it is hanging.
It's hitting it the wrong way towards that other one.
Oh, and it just rubs and rolls a little too far. So give back time for Quebec. After Quebec had stolen 3 straight, Alberta steals back, and we're even through 5.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? By Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. And by World Financial Group, proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies.
Let's bring you up to date on what's happening on Sheet A, British Columbia. Kelly Scott, my goodness. Looks like every rock is in play. Not quite, but close. Kelly Scott, final stone in 5. Mentioned that Sasha Carter is not playing for the champions on BC in Kelowna, so that's Sherry Fraser on the right. Former BC champion in her own right. And makes the draw. Look at that. Only 2 stones. You see back there in the corner? Only 2 stones not in play. That's a draw for 3, tied at 5. It's an important day because when you take a look at the standings now, you try to figure out who's maybe got a chance. Well, Manitoba, Jennifer Jones won earlier today against BC, handing BC the 3rd loss. Team Canada has lost 2 in a row. Alberta has been moving up. New Brunswick, as we mentioned, is the surprise. Quebec at 4-3 would love to stay there. Saskatchewan's not a bad spot, 4 losses, but at 5, when those other teams are struggling, you think you still may have a chance, but you've got to stay there. We are midway through our featured game. Quebec opened with those 3 straight steals. Alberta got 2, and then Alberta has stolen to tie it at 3, and Brian is with Marie-France Larouche.
Marie-France, you've had 5 consecutive steals dating back to yesterday and a lot of rocks in play. How comfortable are you right now with all these rocks in play? You look great out there.
Yes, because I'm confident with my draw weight, so doesn't matter if there's a lot of rocks. But I try to just clean up a little bit because there's too much and we don't have a lot of time. So I think for the rest of the game, we try to just maybe clean up a little bit.
What happened with your last rock here in 5?
Oh, just straight a little bit because my weight was good, was perfect, I think. So maybe, I don't know.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We thank Marie-France for doing those interviews with us. 3-3 on the scoreboard, Linda.
Well, coming in, Alberta was the #1 team and Quebec was number 8. Look at the switch. Quebec playing so well. Heather Nedohin down at 57% because bail out during those 3 stolen ends. But it looks like things are back on track, making for a very interesting second 5.
After 5 is brought to you by Tim Hortons. It's time for Tim's, the Ghosts of Red Deer. We are really excited about this. The 2013 The Dominion All-Star Curling Skins game. Now the game will feature a brand new qualifying format with you, the fans, from right across our country, determining who will compete. You get to vote for your favorite Canadian men's curlers by position online at tsn.ca. The top 4 skips will then select the remaining 12 players in a random draw. And we'll have that draw for you live on TSN January 17th of 2013. Go to tsn.ca/skinsgame for more details, and they'll be playing for $100,000 in total prize money. Curious how this game has gone after that quick stealing start by Quebec, up 3-0. Now here's Alberta. The deuce and a steal of 1. We're even at 3. We go to 6. And because of that steal, Quebec does have the last rock. They have the hammer, playing the Redstones here in 6.
We did see Alberta start the play in the middle. A rock, a guard, a come around. Corner guard played by Quebec. And the good thing for Quebec right now is they didn't have a rock on the button or the forefoot that they're facing. And so now lots of room to work for Quebec.
A couple of guards to roll behind. Yes, there is a yellow raise, but if you get this in the right spot, it makes it tougher.
C'est quoi? C'est bon? Bon petit set. Set. Yep.
Looks really good.
Go, go,
Just half buried would have been great.
That anticipation of brushing that remains difficult. You want to trust, you want to believe that it's going to hang straight or going to curl in that case. Didn't quite catch it in time.
10. Close. Yep. Whoa.
Watch the back one.
Bam.
Oh, shoot.
That's all right.
Those are the little things in the sport, isn't it? You know, the previous tap was aggressive and missed the wrong way. It tapped it behind the tee line. That's the one it jammed on, and then Heather didn't seem to have that angle figured out. And it was like she thought when it hit, it was going to clear the back one, and big mistake here. Chance to sit two.
Those details that we talk about, brushing things out of the rings to make sure they can't freeze, watching the angles, those are critical if you want to win.
Passe en avant. Non, c'est bon? OK. On essaye. Je pense qu'elle en avait un peu plus.
Ontario against Newfoundland Labrador. These teams, you can see, both at 5 losses, both hoping to stay there. But right now it's Ontario in control, leading 5-1, and they are sitting 3. 1 on the button, covered, and 2 at the back 8. Final stone on the way from Heather Strong. Her team from the Valley Haley Country Club in St. John's.
Their numbers aren't that bad. Heather Strong's numbers and the entire team. But Vic, they keep leaving themselves tough shots like that.
And a steal of 1 more for Ontario. 6-1 for Tracy Horgan from Sudbury.
Oh, another beauty by Beth.
That time Heather got behind the back rock and made sure she had the angle figured out perfectly.
Nice shot, Beth.
Sweep.
Nicely done, Beth.
Ooh.
So places to go for this rock. The only unfortunate thing for Quebec is you are drawing behind opposition guards, and they are tight guards. Makes it hard to get by. You tend to give yourself a little too much ice, and then the run back is available for the opposition.
Ben, c'était vous autres, mais il faut pas rester dans le 4 pieds.
Brenda Nichols will go deep. Back 12, remembering now that Quebec does have the last rock in this 3-3 tie.
Nice and crisp.
So 14.5?
Yeah. How much? 100.
Go.
Soft on the release means they think it'll break faster, and that's why the brushers are on it early to try and hold the line.
Mayer and Peters.
Whoa! Yes! No!
Got to listen to one.
No.
Getting yelled at from both sides.
Now, ladies.
That's when you know it's close.
And now, ladies, and it'll break and stop. Shot stone, top floor.
I heard Beth say soft release. We talked about that earlier, coming from the east. That's the way she was learned to throw it, and that's such an advantage on a come around if you can ice yourself correctly.
And if you can have brushers hold it, which they did.
Perfect stone.
So now the run back. You could also double peel, open it up.
Brenda Nichols. Does open up the shot stone.
Hey?
Yeah, we don't want to be in.
There. A little bit on center line.
Well, I need to be off the center. Don't want to leave a hole.
Did you give me like over here?
No, I give you here.
Yeah, sorry.
I give you here.
Yeah. Okay, looks good.
This is the interesting part with the sport is you're trying to be so precise with this shot, and Heather's saying, where did I give you? But if we have 2 different releases, now their releases are fairly close, thank goodness, but if you have somebody that's left-handed or somebody that pops it or somebody that throws it soft, and you have to factor that all into the memory bank here and spit out the right answer.
Just a 3. I don't want to be in.
110. 10 to 15, Heather.
You also heard them talk about positioning, and Beth was indicating she wouldn't mind leaving a small hole. You don't even have to leave a rock width, but you could leave a little hole, and Heather's saying no, she wants it to be curling a little more than that.
Wait! Whoa. Line's tight. Whoa. Good. Sorry, good.
3.
Okay, let it work.
It's got to be cross center.
It's got to cross center. Yep.
Whoa.
Okay, easy.
Whoa.
Stay with it. Yep. Yep. A little more.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Whoa, whoa, easy. That's good. Nice shot.
Nice show. 20. Atta girl.
Good spot.
That's like such a street throw. I must
First we would have been frozen to it.
I said I'm going to celebrate little victories. I gave him one for kicks.
So many last rock throwers are critical, and Heather had been frustrated not kicking out with the speed the brushers wanted. That time she handed it to the brushers and got it in the right spot.
Pas trop là. Parce que ça, en plus, je suis pas sûre que...
Je pense qu'il se fait le dos par là.
Pas beaucoup de drag là-dessus.
Il y a du drag.
Marie France is trying to decide if there's a bit of drag on this yellow-red. It looks like it's kind of going this way, just basically possibly going past that rock by a shade, but they're hoping that if they hit it a little on the high side, on this side of it, it might drag it that way a little bit. But there's a lot of space between those two rocks, and that's the secret, is the distance. If they're closer together, yes, it would drag towards the center line. Just decided against it. There is enough space there, Linda. I'm not sure it would drag enough.
I think the problem is if you just miss it, you're making it worse for yourself. You're not really opening anything up.
Ou on fait juste ouvrir celle-là. J'aurai mon drôle. On va essayer ça.
Tu l'essayes par ici?
Non.
Par là.
Non, par là, oui. Pour justement être capable de rouler.
So trying the run back.
Camille, faut rouler.
Right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Marie-France Larouche.
Steal. Yep. Yep. Yes. Whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Gonna get it this way? No.
Well, the way they brushed it, I guess they were playing the peel. I thought she was lining up the rock in the house.
I did too.
Opened it up.
Yeah, Brenda Nichols went out and looked back, actually, and just to fool you.
All right.
She's running it.
Okay, let's go, Heather. Nice clean throw here. Same way.
To be careful with this one also. The tighter you get it, the better chance you have of guarding, and you don't want to leave a long guard, but if you slip into the rings, it could be a double for two.
Softer. Easy.
Teams practice these shots a lot more because the actual distance is so important with this much curl.
No, it's okay.
Just a 3.
Easy.
2, 3.
No.
Does it need to sit or go?
Whoa. It needs to sit. Quick.
Whoa.
Sit. Sit down. 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 Oh.
Yeah, maybe just a little long, opened itself.
Okay, good weight. Okay, good weight.
Get around here. Quiet tap. Can you score your 2?
And I think there's something there, Vic. I think there is room that, again, writing our book on the do's and don'ts, it really has to curl past that guard. But I think as we watch games more and more, the lack of trust of the throw for that guard, over curl and long.
Yeah.
You're thinking just over the hog line's okay, but really with this curl, it's not. And you also think, oh, well, just close is okay. No, if it over curls, you leave this chance.
Yeah.
This is a very tough shot because you have to push the rock a long way if you want to score 2. But you hate to leave them anything.
So right now, stolen point for Alberta here in 6. Final rock on the way from Marie-France Larouche.
outside of that center line. It has to be soft to get any curl here.
It's a lot of weight.
Phil Toe has done nothing. Blais has done nothing. And this stone will do nothing.
Yellow.
It's a game of gifts. Latest Quebec to Alberta. Let's continue with our updates, and we'll check in on Sheet A. There's a whole train of reds there, all belonging to BC. Final stone on the way now from Carrie Galusha out of the Yellowknife Curling Club.
So, Vic, I scolded on this sheet. I'm going to scold Kelly Scott. The rock she threw, the guard could have been in the house in a lot of places. You can't be short because you leave this come around. Look at all the red that she's drawing against. This is a beautiful shot, but the guard left it for her.
Oh, nearly. Just didn't bend enough. Steal of 1 on a draw against 5. 6-5 BC leads. Welcome back to the NMAX Centurion here in Red Deer. The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the 31st Canadian Women's Curling Championship. Scotties edition. So we had 3 steals. Steal there, 5 points. And stolen of the 7 scored. And here it is once again Quebec with the last rock playing the redstone.
It was a nice double, but in that last end, Marie-France was, we thought, playing a draw tap where you trying to get your wine, and that was a really hard 2, and she threw hack weight, which is an attempt to get to on a fully buried stone. I'm thinking it's not there.
No, you're fine, easy.
I'm very close to that rock.
8-9.
Good.
Sometimes I think you throw those just because you wish the shot was there. You've been playing that end and thinking you'll have that chance to play a tap, and you overthrow it because you're so hoping you can get the extra point.
We've all done it. You might play a phenomenal end and like you feel like you deserve more than one, and that was a tough shot.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. We're up and down the sheet.
Yeah, you want the rocks in play again.
Yeah,
they're probably tight on time.
Well, that's go back to what Marie-France was saying to Brian. She thought they were a little tight on time. Although, you know, interestingly enough, she's feeling very comfortable with her draw weight.
Whoa! Watch your roll, Lainey.
You're okay. Good. 9-1, great weight.
So there you see the time remaining. 71 minutes is what both teams start with. And they're given 2 90-second timeouts.
It's certainly not a desperate situation for the Fox. And one up and down end, and they'll catch it all up. Well,
we're going to see Newfoundland and Labrador tonight as they play New Brunswick. But right now it's all Ontario. And Newfoundland Labrador here looks like they have a draw for 2. And Heather Strong from St. John's.
Okay, line's good.
Just wait for T. Just for T.
T-line.
No curl yet.
Just T-line. No backing.
Just for T, guys.
Curling now.
Go, girls, straight off.
9-5. No backing.
Nice.
Nicely done. Good job, guys.
Laura Strong managing the house. Jennifer Cunningham, Stephanie Korab, and 2. Newfoundland, Labrador. Ontario leads, and they have the last rock back, playing 8.
9-5.
Brenda Nichols.
Brenda Nichols having a good game, but if you think back on a couple of her draws in this game, just going a little deep twice, once rubbing actually and rolling deep, and then the last in going deep. What a big turnaround in your 3rd position when you don't get the rock exactly in the right spot. That's why when you're practicing draws, You should practice footprint draws where you're actually trying to draw to the footprint of a stone to be precise. Because sometimes, again, I think we think draw, come around, and we don't get quite as focused on the range, the exact spot we want that stone. And that lack of focus means the rock does go a little deep.
Set.
Like this one.
13-1.
Trying to give you guys a break. Okay, a little break for you.
It's funny how many times that happens,
She's
isn't it?
taking the saving time way too
And
seriously.
again, it's that inside-out shot that we know is quick. In this case, probably doesn't hurt the team. It looks like it's a blank situation right to the end here.
Right là.
Juste biter, ça serait le best.
France can't afford to throw a corner guard. It's too late in the end. You might see Heather go around it, and with a nice come around would force Quebec to a single, which is not what they want. They're in a good shape here. They're only one down. If they can run the blank through here, they have 2 hammers in theory, barring a steal, compared to 1.
Oh no.
Encore le 6, moi je pense que je commence à avoir un doute. J'ai changé de bord.
Saw it on the other side, nearly saw it on this side.
Ça se peut, tu sais.
I don't think Marie-France minds it going a little deep.
T'as pas eu 2
It's
fois
actually
la
easier
même
to
shot,
blank
mais
if it's
tu sais,
back
c'est
there.
ce que
Heather
je
already
demandais
down in the
tantôt.
hack, trying to save a little time.
Clean. Slow. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean.
Yep.
Stay with that gap.
Yeah!
Hard. Hard.
Oh, shoot, that came across.
Okay.
I thought you guys had it.
Your weight was great.
Shoot, that went across.
En tout cas, regarde, on va aller là. Oh, un peu plus.
Rock's far enough off the rings. There's an
Just go on.
incredibly small chance of a perfect jam, but it gives Heather something to think about when she goes to hit this rock.
Ça, on est capable d'être juste biter, là.
Ouais, OK.
Mais il faut qu'elle touche sûr, par
Oui,
exemple. hein.
évidemment. Let's go.
Sometimes I think, though, if at this stage you're planning for the blank, you do complicate your own life, potentially, by playing towards a rock that's just outside the rings.
En masse, hein.
Oui, oui.
Ça a glissé.
Worrying about hitting it sometimes gets you thinking the wrong direction.
Vite, par ici.
Même chose que toi.
But suddenly everybody's got a lot of leg
Mais
drive.
dans le fond.
C'est correct.
Go, Beth. Go, 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 go.
Same turn.
Okay.
Normal.
Hey, just by thought. You with your equalizer.
Il y a une côte pour les have that.
Non, je leur ai dit, je suis forte en partant. J'ai dit, je pense que je suis forte, là.
Still have your wings down.
Hair more. Hair more. Let's go, Heather, right up. Nail this. Let's go, Hooch.
Delivers from the crouched position, doesn't really lift the hips at all, just straight out of the hack.
A little more weight.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa.
Hasn't picked up on her husband David's phone booth delivery.
Whoa, the other way.
The
if you
very
can.
compact
That's good.
delivery.
Yeah.
Nice throw. Nice throw.
T'es sûr? Tu me mets en doute, là? Parce que l'autre bord, ça curle tellement. Faut que je la pogne à moitié, moi, je pense. Faut pas que je la pogne trop mince. Si je la pogne trop mince, là, elle va y aller. Tu t'en penses? Normal.
If you hit roughly half a rock, which is exactly where you want to for comfort reasons, that yellow one is going to be in the way, but you'd have to be incredibly unlucky, I think, in this case.
Yeah, it's curious, though, isn't it? I mean, here we go. The stones at the back there. You're playing for the black, but yet you do have to think about it. There is some thought in this.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I just play away from it.
Yeah, you can easily cross this put the broom in the center of the rock, or you could take the other turn. We've seen it twice from Heather. We know that spot.
Final stone for Quebec. here in the 7th, looking for the blank. It's coming up to the nose. Oh, and she'll just roll across the top, avoiding the jam.
Sorry.
Through 7, Alberta leads in a game of Let's go back to Sheet A as we welcome you back to our coverage on this Wednesday afternoon. Draw 13, Carrie Galusha. First indication from the front end was this is going to be a little hot, a little heavy out of the hand. Northwest Territories, Yukon playing BC. Kelly Scott needing it to curl. This is a draw against a couple around the edge of the 4, and by it goes. Steal 2 more, BC. Scott from Kelowna leading 8-5. We have our first final. Kim Dolan and Amber Holland talking about a 10-4 win for Team Canada. And that stops the bleeding for the defending champions who had lost their last 2. Quebec with the blank means they continue to hold the last rock, so they will have the hammer playing the Redstones here in 8.
Est-ce que c'est eux qui s'en sortent ou qui est le point? Ouais, peut-être
Center guard come around. That's the Redstone top 12, and the stone that just landed is the other one for Alberta that is just beside the Quebec rock.
Anne-Marie Filteau.
Yes, aligné. Yes.
Ça passe encore, les filles.
Yes, yes.
This could be trouble.
Yes, yes. Go, 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 go. OK. C'est pas mauvais, on l'a poussé derrière l'autre. OK, on arrive.
That one. 14-4. 14-6. 14-5, hey?
Get right over there.
100? 95?
95.
Jessica trying to draw around everything. We've seen this spot a few times, and there is lots of curl.
Line's really good. Let it work, let it work. Where? 5? Whoa. Whoa.
Line's pretty good.
Whoa.
6.
Whoa. Tee up, tee up. No, no, no.
Sit down.
Okay. 14.
It is interesting that these teams train, and we know many of them, and we know how good they are, but we are still hearing a little lack of communication on some of the brushing. And finally, Heather just yelled, "Where is it?" to get a specific piece of information, because the brushers just went heads down and said nothing.
This red rock, Quebec rock, that came up a little light, is still usable here.
Yes! 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 Whoa! Whoa!
Nicely done.
Shooter will spill in to grab the top of the 12. Shot rock does belong to Alberta. Sitting right on the button.
Great example of missing the right way. The Quebec come around. It came up a little light. Angle froze to the yellow one. Now they have 3 in the rings with the advantage of hammer here, and Alberta has to be careful.
Control.
Yep! Yep!
Whoa. Whoa.
Close! Yes!
Hard. Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa! No,
Whoa,
Beth. No, Beth. No, Beth.
Jessica Mayer.
That's fine.
And the shooter will spill out into the open.
9-4. Little up. Wait. T'étais quoi? T'étais-tu light tantôt? Même chose que tu viens de lancer, bref.
Could play the double.
Or just even hit roll off the wing one and see what Heather does. It's still early enough. Trying to just manipulate these rocks at the moment.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You sweep it to hang around here.
Whoa.
The call was actually to roll the other way.
Yep.
That one over-curled by quite a bit. Still got a roll.
Only bad news is it forces the play into the center. And a well-placed rock in front of this one, not beside it, would really close down the scoring area.
Let's go, Bethy. Nice and crisp.
Beth Iskew as we play third stones here in the 8th.
Beth has played so well. She's having one of those games where that was just a little wobble, the sliding foot not coming in underneath her as well as it could, and she hasn't had the weight on all of them, so just one of those games for her.
This one looks perfect.
You can bump now. You can bump. Right to it, right to it, right to it.
Oh, very nice.
Sorry.
Laney.
The one last in went through. She wasn't going to have any more problems with draw weight. Very nicely done.
On peut le tasser là. Ils sont vraiment
There's
égales.
guards in front of those rocks, too.
Now, if you're Kevin Cooey, you're playing that yellow double. It's there. Keep in mind it's flat, but keep in mind they're close enough together. You've got a red rock that's coming at a slight angle. The top half of it going across would chip that out of there. You could potentially sit 4.
I'm not sure that's in the skill set here. You could try a peel and open it up so you could have a chance to run something in, but it is getting late.
Non, vraiment pas.
This has to be very precise.
Okay.
Oh, great shooting.
Bon, good shot. Pas correct, ça? Ouais, c'est bon. Merci. J'ai fait un drôle, là, pour m'encourager.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Même pas aucun commentaire, je manque toutes mes draps depuis le début.
Backline.
Marie France has shot rock, but that little collection.
What do you like? Not yet.
Red, yellow,
do it.
red. Heather's trying to line them up, so at some point you can make a tap and end up as shot rock.
100.
Don't want to move your own yellow back too far. There, that double, the Kevin Cooey double will be there.
Line's pretty good. It's less, though. No, but got maybe not.
5-6.
Just no bump, guys. Stay with it. No bump for line.
Weight's good.
Stay with it. No, it's gotta come. Yep,
Whoa.
yep.
We're there.
Whoa. No bounce. No bounce. No bounce. No bounce. That's fine.
Beautiful shot making. 3 in a row, just perfect. Can they see enough of that to hammer it?
Avec la rouge. Elle va partir. Si on lance fort là-dessus, elle va partir.
Now, Linda, you talk about the meat in the sandwich. This is more like this is a clubhouse.
It has extra bread.
Okay, this is a
The
clubhouse.
turkey is in there. You've got the mayonnaise.
The bacon, lettuce. Yep. Yeah. So what happens here if you do hammer this yellow?
Well, besides making me hungry?
Yeah.
I think if you hit it hard enough, Vic, the yellow in the rings will actually go for sure. The yellow in the forefoot area, this one right here, that should go. This one right there, it should bounce out maybe as far as this area here, or might all the way through if you throw it hard enough. The trick is, can you get by this guard tight enough to get enough angle on that yellow to make it go? And people don't realize sometimes, even though you hit it on this side, you can still make it start to spin. If you throw this hard enough, it could go, but they've decided against it.
Let's go.
It's a messy situation for Alberta here, though.
Yeah, but you're running to the red, not the other.
Red.
Clean, clean, clean.
Brenda Nichols. And she'll get the guard.
Well, I don't like guard.
She has red to pick our yellow, or can she? Actually,
Well, she's got this.
She does have
For,
that.
well, I don't know, actually.
Like knows the red one.
I'm still sticking with that double I want over there, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is good right
I
now
know.
for us.
Yeah, that is good.
How about this? How about this? That's pretty good. A setup here. What does she do? Like right here is sweet.
Yeah.
Let's go for shot.
Is it too early to do that, though? If we
No.
guard now and then...
I don't like guard. Like, this is good for us.
Okay.
So her thought is,
Let's just try to be top button.
if you look at the double that you want to play so badly,
Okay.
that kicks that middle yellow stone just in front of the tee line. It would squirt it out to the right. She wants to put a stone to block that. Is that what she's thinking?
I think she's actually going to go right around everything and sit 2, and then if that shot...
It'll come in.
I think at this point in time, if you don't throw a guard, Quebec's going to run that yellow one on the center line straight back and try to... That was a beautiful angle there of the yellow-red-yellow combination. If you throw it hard enough, both yellows are gone. So pretend you hit that yellow at the top of the 4-foot dead on. It goes out the right-hand side of the sheet. The red-yellow combo glances off the red and also rolls out. And you sit 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th.
So where does she want to go with this one, Linda?
She's drawing for shot. She's drawing around the front yellow and trying to get it right on the edge of the button.
Where? Yep, bingo. Hard. Line straight. Where? Yes. Yep. Hard. You got it. Hard. Line straight. Hard. Line straight.
Peters and Mayer have been so impressive this week with their brushing. And impressive one more time.
That's hard work.
You know, when there's curl, the brushers are going to get utilized just even to get it by, let alone for speed.
I say great yellow.
And you would.
But they really did. You know, that does help. I swear it helps. You know, just that little extra coming over the hog line kept them going, and well brushed.
Mind you, Heather Nedohin, if you look at her, she doesn't have much voice. So if you talk about numbers, Heather Nedohin started poorly. Remember the steals by Quebec, bringing those numbers back up, although her hits are still very low. Marie-France Larouche actually was in the 90s to start with those 3 steals and is dropping. So it's been a tale of 2 halves so far in this game for the Skips.
Player numbers brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Quebec has called a timeout, and their coach, Camille Larouche, has joined them.
Il va falloir qu'elle soit parfaite, sinon ça va être dur. Je pense que c'est mieux que d'essayer ça.
OK, j'aime ça.
OK. Oui, que ça... Oui. C'est l'important, c'est de garder notre shot aussi.
Bon.
Now they're going to try the shot we talked about earlier, straight back with the yellow. This yellow goes for free. The red-yellow combination, it will jam in here and go this way a little bit. How far depends on the amount of speed here. But if they both go, there'll be a red shot here and a red rock there and only the one yellow. So that's, at least it cleans it up and gives them a chance.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, no,
Marie-France Larouche.
No, ça descend.
And her first as we peek at BC, Northwest Territories, Yukon as well.
Nice shot.
This is a draw against 2 for Kerry Galouche out of Yellowknife. 8-5, BC leading after they stole 2 in 7. Piece of the blue. A little bit of the blue will give her single point.
Hard, guys. Hard. That's going all balls out.
Oh, yeah.
Hard, hard, hard. Pull forward. Come on. Don't ease up.
Megan Cormier, Shona Barber on the brush. Very nicely done.
Just
to keep Galusha and the team from Yellowknife in it.
when she runs her reds in, it's for 3. So we cut it.
They played the shot they wanted. They wanted to hit it dead on. They hit it a little high side, didn't curl enough. The yellow and the both yellows went like we thought. The red had to go back, but look at the way that finished up. Absolutely frozen, lined up. No chance to remove that rock.
And third shot does belong to Quebec.
Okay, what do we need?
That's the red at the back of the 8-foot.
Boy, if you hit that head, you look backwards. If you'd hit that thinner, the thrown rock would have gone over and tapped that yellow out, and this could be real scary for Alberta. No choice but to throw the guard and cross your fingers.
Yeah. Just a 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, you can maybe pick 5, but I'd prefer not. Just a 4.
Okay. So 10, 15?
That's amazing that it spun right to the freeze position.
Not 15, 20?
I think that would be a 3.
Okay.
Let's go, Heather. Nice crisp up stick.
A missed guard. It's a hit for 3.
I think she's talking top 12. I believe I heard the number 4.
Where?
3!
Say where? It's got to come to center. Got to curl quite a bit. Got to curl. There it goes.
Just believe it. If it is going to be in the rings, this will curl.
3! Hard!
Yep. Hard! Let it go! More. Hard! Whoa. Go! Yep.
Right to the line.
He left a bit of room there, though.
19. We needed to be going on that.
Huh?
I think we needed to go on that.
We needed to be on because you can play.
Je pense que c'est mieux le intern.
The shot they haven't looked at, and I guess it might not be there, is coming down here and getting this yellow. If you hit as much of that yellow as you could see, is there a chance that that could go across that way and maybe take this one out for a millionth? I guess not.
Normal.
Wait, got it.
Probably you can't see enough of that yellow, maybe, Linda?
I don't know. I think you can.
Yeah, and you can redirect off your red.
I also thought she might run the red top 12.
Yep. Yeah, why not run one of your own color? Shorter run back also.
So running the yellow back, final stone here in the 8th. Oh my, Phil Toe and Blade picked it up right away. Trying to hold the line, run it back, going to catch something. Oh, she just caught the corner. Just caught the corner for the single. Quebec gets 1 here in 8. They get it by just that much. It's now time for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca and enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Championships to be played in Sochi, Russia. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. We'll give you the secret word shortly. Tied at 4, Quebec making a very nice run back to get their single.
Now, there are a couple other options. An unbelievable run back, a great game by Marie-France, but let's stop this right here. The red-yellow combination wants to go this way. The yellow-red combination wants to go this way, which I'll clear that again. So you go out like that. So it's somewhere in between those two. You're going to get what we call drag, and that's exactly what happened to that yellow rock. As we let it go a little bit farther, the yellow rock goes over because of the pull of the first yellow and drags right onto that back one, jams, and unfortunately for Quebec, only scores the single. Keeping that in mind, why not come down this way and play the red, which is your own color, which will score you more points, and then the drag would have been in this direction, missing this rock.
And as you both said before, the only way you can figure those things out is to put the stones on the ice at a club or your home club and just keep playing with the rocks. As we welcome you back on this Wednesday afternoon, it is draw 13. We'll have 4 draws remaining, 1 tonight, then 3 more tomorrow to complete round-robin play. Tied at 4, and Alberta will have the last rock here in this 9th playing the Yellowstone.
I've had people come up to me years ago. We used to play with a lot of rocks in play, so we maybe learned some of those angles quicker than some of the other teams. And they used to say, oh, you must play a lot of snooker. It doesn't work on a snooker table. It works with curling rocks because of the rough running edges. If 2 snooker balls are close together, it's going to go in exactly the direction it's aiming. Wherever you hit it, on the center, on the edge, on the side, it's going to go directly straight. With curling rocks, not so.
So tied at 4, you have to decide if you're Quebec, if you're going to aggressively try and force Alberta to take a single so that you, Quebec, have the hammer coming home. And that's why the guard was played this in. Center guard, another series of come-arounds in the little collection in the 4-foot. At this point, it favors Alberta if they can make this hit.
That's fine. That's good. 10. Right.
No. Oh. Right up.
Laisse bon.
Excusez.
C'est correct.
Little more. Yeah. Tell her it's more.
More? Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
Try
Whoa.
to flop in behind here.
Go, lady. Go, lady. Go.
And there is the flop, and it is behind.
Lady. 10. What?
Earlier, we weren't seeing a lot of these rolls. They are hard to call, and they play this with up weight, meaning you're getting lots of roll once you strike the stone, and beautifully played. So now Quebec looking for an angle. This is where you start to play with a little bit of fire on the aggressive force. You're leaving some rocks around, and yes, it's only 1 Alberta stone at the moment, but there are possibilities looming.
A little bounce off here could be a problem. They're caught in between. They're thinking of going behind now. Don't want to bounce.
You can nail it on the nose.
Great setup here. You
Peel or hack?
can hit the red dead on.
No.
Eliminate
Not
both
peel.
reds again.
You'll move the back.
Oh, sorry.
Red, yeah.
No. I like this. You can get to that, Beth.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Hack.
Let's go.
Okay, hack weight.
Yeah. Let's go, Beth. Let's go, Beth.
Tricky little shot. You don't want to miss this wide and jam it onto that frozen rock. Nice soft weight required to get maximum curl around the guard.
Whoa. More like forward. Forward.
Close.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No.
No, it's not curling.
No.
Curl up. Okay.
Great shot.
It's not terrible. No.
We already have one final,
Yes.
of course. Team Canada winning 10-4 over PEI. So updating, we showed you the team from Yellowknife getting 2. And Ontario continues to lead Newfoundland and Labrador. Heather Strong just picked up a single in 9. Ontario does have last rock coming home and leading.
Attends, mort, je vais dire. Je vois pas bien d'ici. Hein? Je vois pas bien d'ici, puis on manque de temps. Ouais. Peux-tu venir freeze là? On freeze ici, ouais. Elle va frapper là-dessus, ça va revenir là. Si je reviens ici, ça donne rien. Non. Cette double-là ici. Elle va rouler là, mais au moins elle va peut-être être partie. De ce bord-là, il n'y a pas grand-chose non plus. Sinon, y aller comme ça. Faire le nez là-dessus, puis faire le double ici. On a l'air un peu sur le désespoir, là. Mais... Regarde, ça donne rien. Ben, elle a ça même ici, non?
In a 4-4 tie, game may be on the line here for one of these teams.
Once in a while, in a game or in a bonspiel, the angles aren't very good, and this is one of those times. What do you do with that top yellow?
Yeah, it bounces into that red so many different ways, and you hate to leave it because that little collection of yellow is in such a nice spot, including the ability of Alberta to move it up on anything we play. So they're really guarding them, but bringing it into the house, trying to block that yellow being used without the red one staying there.
Oui, beau. Oui, beau. Yep.
No.
Yep. Yes.
Could line up the red-yellow, which wouldn't be good either.
C'est beau.
8.
Ouais, ben, au chrono, c'était c'est beau.
C'est fichier dans mes culottes. My shot. Merci.
I love this call, Linda. Get rid of the guard, and then it gives you options with the yellow ones.
Okay, let's go, Beth. Nice straight up crisp throw here.
There might be a double if they can. Quebec can get to the inside of that yellow rock on the right-hand side.
Whoa. Clean. Clean. Whoa, just clean.
Good job. 8-2.
Nice throws, Beth.
Beth Iskew gets rid of the guard.
Nicely done, Beth.
Alberta does have the last rock, and Quebec, I would think, has to get rid of some of these yellows.
If you just get to the one the broom is over top of it, just get to the inside of that, you'll make the back double, Vic, and you'll kind of hang right there, which is a dangerous rock also. If you miss it on the outside where the broom is now, that's big trouble.
There's a concern that there is something on the ice, and it's not normal debris, I'm assuming. Marie-France is wanting someone to come and have a look.
So that'll stop the clock also.
Now, remember, that it looks like there may have been a leak of some kind, maybe from the rafters here, because it looks like it's bubbled up here.
So that's Eric Montford,
yep.
in between ends earlier having a look at it. It's quite obvious because it's on a logo. Well, there's a drip for sure.
The best way to do that is come out with the hand scraper and just lightly clean that off. And sometimes I'll even re-pebble if it's a big enough area.
So once again, Eric Montford will come out this time, trailed by Dave Merklinger. We had some light overnight snow, so there may be just a little bit of melting going on. It's quite mild now.
Now the curlers will really worry about that, but when you think about it, a 40-pound stone sliding over that should not be a problem.
Encore une bosse, moi, je pense.
Yeah, no,
It's right in the path of where Marie-France will play the double. That's why running over it, trying to clean the path, she felt a little bump.
Marie, veux-tu revenir ici?
Attends, je vais juste...
And we have our second final. British Columbia gets 3 more. Make the final 11-6 as Ellie Scott, former Canadian champion, now goes to 6-3. And Carrie Galusha of Yellowknife drops to 2-6.
Normal moins. Right. Let's go.
So now you have to settle yourself after that little disruption and break in your focus. This is an important shot, and this is one of those you don't have to chuck. As Russ said, it's the position you hit the first one that is critical.
Yep.
Marie-France Larouche and her first.
Yes! Whoa! Yes! Whoa! Correct!
And we'll spill it to the edge of the 4.
Marie-France was right. Did not need brushing.
I like that. This one.
No, but wait, we gotta watch this.
Time being called by Alberta. Remembering, of course, that they do get 2 90-second timeouts. And Coach Daryl Horn is on his way.
If we hit this to go there, this is jamming right there.
Yeah, it is. So what if we just nose it?
But then how do we get at this
How about
next
we
time?
do this? We just, like,
Tap it.
redirect these, because these are the ones that are hurting us.
You just off nose, on this nose.
And just tap it
Yeah,
straight
tap it
into
in.
there.
And then this should come over here, and we'll
Yeah.
be sitting there.
Well, yeah, if we just tap it with a little bit of weight, this is probably going to stay right there.
That's fine.
It's not going to roll off much.
But these are the two hurting us, right? So I'd love to just tap this into
yeah.
here.
What were we?
They're gonna
Well,
rub
then
it
they've
in.
got this,
Oh, yeah,
or
then
they've got
they have
that.
this.
But,
Then if we tap to here, she just goes bam.
which is fine. We still have stuff up here to work with.
No, we don't necessarily have a port.
No, I
Because
know.
this would be here, and this would be here, and we don't have a shot then after that. I don't know if I do like that because of what Daryl's saying.
You do have possibly off that after.
No. Oh, I guess for shot.
So what if we
What's
know
nosing
this?
that get us? She hits it and sticks there. We have nothing again. But then we have the double.
So if we tapped and rolled here, what is she doing?
Hit and roll, you mean?
Yeah, okay, we sit here.
She just guards, and then how do we get to
She
here?
guards or she doubles these again.
Okay,
What do you
guys,
think,
what do you
Daryl?
want?
What do you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nose. That's what
Well,
you like?
but even honestly, kissing this would be lovely.
I don't think she played that
I like this
cute.
nose.
Okay,
What kind of weight?
10,
Okay.
right?
A third final.
A little flop that if we
And
kiss our
Ontario
dog,
picks
it's
up a
okay.
big win for them because it keeps them at 5 losses, keeps some hope alive. Make the final 7-4. Newfoundland Labrador drops to 2 and 6, and we will see Newfoundland and Labrador tonight against New Brunswick when we join you again for Draw 14, coming your way at
This comes up a little
9:30
bit,
p.m.
eh,
Eastern
Beth?
Time.
I think so.
Can I have a hair more?
Can you slide this red rock, hit 2/3 of it, and just get by your own at the top of the 4 and tick that shot rock, Linda? It doesn't look good. So I think
Looks
she's
tight.
looks like she's trying to hit it dead on.
Trying to leave this in a position that can be used on her last.
Whoa. 9-5 to 10.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Good.
Okay, good throw.
Okay.
Même barre? Oui. Comme c'est normal moins. C'est ce que j'étais dans le fond.
Well played in by Alberta, but they just couldn't get the angles. It was funny how that ended up being staggered. The red, yellow at the top are staggered, and there's not much you can do with either one of them. There's nothing you can do with either one of them. So I think you'll see a double here.
Ouais. Let's go.
Il me semble que c'est pas large, non?
C'est à peu près comme tantôt.
OK.
Taking nice tight ice on the straighter intern side.
Come on, Mike.
Big. Big. Yep.
Final still in Port Quebec and Marie-France Larouche.
Whoa.
Yeah!
Now some late work from Filto on play. And we'll spill them both.
Go, Maddie.
Great shot. Well played in.
Très bien lancé.
Merci. Bien calé.
Ouais, celle-là, je me suis pas fait avoir, j'ai attendu. C'est ce qu'il y a sur le haut. C'est bon.
Back line, let's chip it out.
Can you come around and tap that out?
Because
It's
I'd rather give up a steal
Oh,
of one,
okay.
but, or take 2.
Gotcha, okay.
the theory with Heather is she wants her deuce, and if she doesn't get it, she doesn't mind a steal. And the theory there is you're 1 down coming home, but you do have advantage of hammer. One mistake, you get your 2, and you still win.
Left.
I certainly don't mind the theory. This is a very difficult shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a shot for 2, is there?
No, that's why I'm thinking that you could actually chip something and end up with 1. You can barely see any of that shot stone, actually.
Yeah, you could probably throw board and chip what you can see and get your single, like you say, but she doesn't want a single.
Final stone.
Wow! Close! Wow!
Mayor Peters now. Here they go. It's going to break at those stones at the top of the 12. It's going to bust at those stones. Gotta get it by and tap it back and sit. Needs to sit in a hurry. Oh, and it just pushes it far enough for the single, but the shooter will not sit in time.
Spectacular try.
Oh, was that no for 2? Shoot. I got to go to the bathroom. Go. Come on, like that.
Shooter rolls too far, bringing, though, that stone at the top of the 4 into play. Husband David knows this all too well.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's.
Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge, and the secret word is wobbler. That's, I guess, when you throw a stone and it floats down the ice.
Maybe on your team, Vic.
Flip. Flip. Yes! Yes!
So you don't want a wobbler here, that's for sure, because you have a corner guard, 2 in the house, need to save the shooter, and they do just that.
Smart weight choice there. I didn't, looking at a pretty easy double with speed and had to hang around and just threw the appropriate board to hack weight.
10. Clean.
Alberta leads by 1.
Oh, it's running.
Just clean.
I want to get to the nose.
Quebec does have the last rock, playing the red stones.
Girl. 9-2.
Give me a break, you and you were chatting.
It's out.
Was there any chance of her getting 2?
Well, I didn't think so, because the shot was very, very difficult. It was difficult to chip it for 1, and the interesting thing about the conversation of the hack is Heather said, I don't want 1. And she was playing a shot that, in all likelihood, would end up with 1. Even a brilliant shot would still end up with 1. So you have to make a clear choice when you're in the hack. If you don't want it, you could toss it away and give them 1.
Yeah, it's a shame because you made such a wonderful attempt, but
Yeah.
I didn't see 2 in the cards there at all.
Pas un coup, pas un coup.
Non, c'est pas, j'ai fini
Oh,
ça.
peut-être, ouais. Oui, yes, 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 m'excuse, yes. Yes, 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 yes,
Look at that finish. There's a great camera angle there. Just busts in behind that guard.
Bon, Mini.
Hack. Hack.
Normally in a game this early in an end, you might, second, third end, you might peel a guard and stop a big end. But you can't afford to make a mistake now.
Let's go, Jess. 10.5, 11.
11.
Yes! Yes! Hard. Gotta go! Hard, guys. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Watch
Yep.
Trying to roll now the shooter over to a position in front of shot rock, or at least their stone on the other side, make it more difficult to get a second one in for Quebec.
Great recovery by the skipper, though, rolling that missed shot to a dangerous spot.
Comme ça, par ici. Ça, ouais.
Interesting
D'après
play.
moi, ça sera
Going
pas
out
vraiment moins vite.
quite a bit wider
Okay.
than we played at all this game. The ice here with David Merklinger running the show has been exceptionally keen everywhere. It doesn't matter how or when you go out to these different spots. It's still very playable.
C'est correct. Oui, elle descend encore, mais elle descend encore. OK, elle s'en vient. Va être en avant du tee, par exemple. Yep, yep.
T-line, T-line.
Est-ce qu'on la back?
Non, 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 parce que je veux pas qu'elle laisse le dos.
OK.
Good shot. Oh.
Okay. Quebec sitting two, but the one that is shot stone is accessible, and you can try and start to group them.
Okay, let's go, B-Town. On my way.
Even dead on here will change that angle a little bit.
Actually, there's several options with Heather rolling that guard over. Even if you roll deep and leave a pocket and start to have a chance to freeze in there's lots of options to get out of this for Alberta, and it's going to be tough for Quebec to set it up.
Okay, 8-8. Okay.
Reminder, stay with us right after the game. Rod Smith, probably already in the chair. He'll bring you Sports Center.
Wait.
Brendan Nichols. Quebec needing 1 to tie, 2 for the win here in the 10th.
Yep. Ben, c'est à vous autres, là, mais il faudrait y aller pour la ligne un peu.
It's not a very big area to sit this, so that you don't set up a hit and roll or a double and still end up sitting two.
And I have Steve.
A lot of these have over curled. You have to get full 8-footer. You're not going to be second shot here. It's close.
No.
Just draw to it. Just to it. You can bump it. No, it's okay. We need backing here, Beth.
No. I kind of like tapping it.
But then they tap it. Here's fine.
Yeah, I like her.
Being second shot is fine.
Okay.
Being shot would be nice.
Well, this is the difference of opinion I talked about right at the beginning of the game, and the difficulty is there's probably an option that you can argue either side. The person in the hack is arguing the opposite one and has to suddenly trust and throw it well. So Beth has to park her idea and go with Heather's.
We've only seen one rock out here, and that's about 5 inches less ice than Quebec had, and we know Beth's got a soft release, so chances are this will curl.
Yep. Whoa. It's good. Yes. Whoa. Stay with it. Yes.
We need the back.
Now.
We need the back.
Whoa. Sit.
Oh boy, she got right to the nose.
It's been a game of steals. It started with Quebec and then it turned to Alberta. But Alberta not getting the second point in 9. You're wondering now if they go for the steal, as both skips have had good halves. Marie-France Larouche starting well. Heather Nedohin coming on a little more strongly.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
So Beth got her wish because they ended up tapping that one. I don't think she tried to throw it harder, but it ended up tapping.
Might have been on purpose. I think she throws draw weight, she wrecks.
Yep.
Wow, very nice.
Great throw.
C'est mieux de la...
Ouais, peut-être.
La garder là.
La garder là, juste freeze.
Non, ben freeze, là, c'est impossible.
Timeout being called by Alberta.
We could draw there, what you're saying.
Still getting.
Well, if we come here, if we pick it, then she's coming there
She
again.
just freezes there again.
What do you like? Yeah, like what's wrong with
but
here?
what do you like?
The draw, right? Even if you're short, she's got to be contending with
Yeah,
it.
we can wrap a little bit around it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, totally.
Okay, well, she just threw 14-6, I had.
Yeah.
Daryl Horn
Okay.
Yep.
coached Kathy King to the 98 championship. His wife was playing on that team, Kate.
I would say.
Heather's saying she could come down and pick this, but your shooter would roll away. That would allow Quebec to come back in again, maybe even make it better. So what they've decided to do is come into this area. If she gets it in the right spot, it'd be really hard to be removed. But the nice part about it, it gives her a couple of options. She could be there, she could be there, and that rock can be used.
Top 6.
Okay.
And just one other note on Kathy King, who won 6 Alberta championships. Last weekend won her first Alberta senior women's title. So congratulations to Kathy King.
What are you thinking?
9,500.
Top 6.
Let's go, Heather.
I think I heard the word 97 there. Is that Linda? That'd be 397. It's almost 4 seconds split time. That's still incredibly fast. And it's amazing how these ice makers can keep the ice going for 2 practices and 10 ends. A lot of rocks in this spot and a lot of clubs this would slow right down.
Where?
All there.
Line's nice. Stay with it. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Whoa. Yes. Yes. Gotta go. Hard, girls. Gotta go.
Weight's really nice.
Go. Hard. Go.
Ah, shoot.
Okay.
15-1.
That could not have been. No, I know. Oh, so close.
Still pretty good. We talk about the option. That's the way to miss it. Rock is very usable, tough to hit.
Right.
So how important is this game? Both these teams are coming in at 3 losses. We've had some finals already. Team Canada has won. BC has won, so they're at 3. Alberta or Quebec will fall to 4 losses. New Brunswick will watch them tonight. If Alberta wins, those 6-loss teams are eliminated from playoff contention.
Si elle fait ça, ben, tu
J'aurais toujours ça, puis ça va être peut-être pour 2. Tu sais.
Parfait.
Ça va être pour 2 même.
Yep.
I thought they'd take a long look at hitting that, Linda.
It looks to me with that ice, they're trying to draw, so they bite the 4
Let's go.
and force the tap for Alberta. But I didn't see the signal.
Could also be a guard on that dangerous rock, but then that would give Heather the in-turn slash to remove the shot rock and sit for 2 or 3.
Tenez la ligne un peu. Tenez la ligne un peu. 5, 6.
Yes, la ligne.
Yes, la ligne. 6, 7, 6, 7.
Non, pas l'arrière d'ici.
Ligne, yes.
Yes, c'est passé.
Yes, hard. Hard.
Filto and play. Can they sneak this past that stone top of the 8? Oh, they just did. You didn't think that had a chance after it started to break.
We're talking great precision with these. If it's not in the right spot, it certainly makes Alberta shot even simpler. And very nicely called.
Seen terrific performance by both front ends. Jessica Mayer and Lainey Peters for Alberta. Amélie Blais and Anne-Marie Filto for Quebec.
This could be set up for Alberta, though.
What do you think?
Heather comes down
What
with
do you
some
like,
speed.
I'm not positive I see exactly what you're saying.
Well, we'd have to hit here. And then the redirect.
It's
into there.
risky.
It is. And then I don't know about that one there.
The tap, like we just threw this as well.
Okay.
What do you like playing?
I think the tap is the right call.
I think the tap is the better option.
She usually defers to the bigger weight shot. She likes the
Well, if we tap it into here.
the headline shot, as I may call it that.
Well, we'll be shot. If we tap it to here, we'll be second shot.
Okay.
Maybe first.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
I think the danger that I believe the shot I just drew will work. This red will go this way. This yellow will stick, which is the most important thing. I think the danger is if the yellow starts to roll out a little bit and this red one comes over here and sticks here, then she's got a problem too. So they're not quite sure of the angles. At this point in time, you have to be. So just a straight tap here.
What did I have last time, Lainey?
And if we just comment on her hits today, they're only at 58% and her draws are at 75. Marie-France has actually forced Heather into some tough hits and they haven't been made, so that also may be a factor.
So at the moment, Quebec is sitting 2. That will give them the win. Alberta needs to be shot, or at least second shot after this. The last rock for Alberta, and Heather Nedohin.
No.
You get it outside?
No, it's not going anywhere.
Yes, and that extra speed.
Uh-oh.
Can we save something? Whoa. Go to the face. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
He's trying to get it to roll onto the 4, but it's not
and
there.
It will not, and it will go for a Quebec win. Picking up 2, make the final 6-5. Quebec now goes to 5-3. Alberta falls to 5-4, and those 6 lost teams went. Thank you, Quebec. They're still alive. It's an interesting leaderboard, isn't it? No, not so much from Manitoba and Team Canada. You expect that, or BC, but New Brunswick and Quebec, after that slow start, they're 5-3. Alberta falls to 4 with Saskatchewan. Ontario very much alive with Nova Scotia still at 5. And yes, there is some hope for those at 6 losses. And we will get to see Heather Strong against Rebecca Atkinson and the team from New Brunswick at 5-3. That's when we join you again tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 4 draws of round-robin play remain. So till we talk with you again this evening, thank you for joining us here in Red Deer. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts is here on Canada's sports leader. TSN Sports Center is next.